Hello, good morning, all of you. Here we are again meet to study, or here we are again meeting to study to semantics. And we know that what is the semantics? So semantics is nothing but the scientific study of meaning. You know that the word sema, yes, M-E-A, sema, which is taken from the Greek word sema means sign or signal, and the verb semen, which means to signify, or shorter Oxford Dictionary glosses the term relating to signification or meaning, or in Vedas also meaning is also treated as the essence of the language. So semantics is nothing but the scientific study of language. So in semantics, there are some approaches to the study or to the study of the meaning. And one of the approaches which is given by Geoffrey Leech. So Leech's linguistic approach to the study of meaning is the most important approach. And so we are going to study this. What is the Leech's linguistic approach to the study of the meaning? So you know that Geoffrey Leech was expert in linguistics, semantics, pragmatics, and stylistics also. And he has given this approach to the study of the meaning. So according to Leech, Leech, that is the Leech linguistic approach. We can say that is the Leech linguistic approach to the study of meaning, to the study of meaning, to the study of meaning, to the study of meaning is a modern approach. Is modern approach, or it studies what is studies, that is the it studies the meaning as a linguistic phenomenon, meaning as a linguistic phenomenon, linguistic phenomenon. Leach wants to separate semantics. Leach wants to separate semantics, semantics from the other disciplines, from the other disciplines, from the other disciplines. Sorry, other disciplines, disciplines of knowledge. So he proposes some a kind of the he also according to him, that is the meaning should be studied. So according to him, meaning should be studied. According to him, the meaning should be studied. The meaning should be studied. Meaning should be studied within the language itself. Within the language itself. Language itself. For this, Leach proposes some 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 relations, some relations to study meaning, relations to study meaning, and these relations are as follows. These relations are as follows. These relations are very important. So these relations are as follows. One of the relation is, that is the one relation is that is the paraphrase or paraphrasing. Second one is that is the entailment. Third one is that is the presupposition. Fourth one is that is the logical inconsistency. Logical inconsistency. Fifth one, that is the tautology, and sixth one is that is the contradiction. These relations are given by Leech. So we are going to learn these relations one by one. The very first relation is nothing but that is the paraphrase. So we are going to learn this very first relation, which is nothing but the paraphrasing. So in paraphrasing, we know that how to study meaning is very important thing. The very first relation is paraphrase. So what do you mean by the paraphrasing? You know that in literature, when we study or when we want to read any Shakespearean book or any Shakespearean play and any old poem, that time we come across or we have some hurdles of the archaic words, because sometimes we have to get paraphrase. So what do you mean by the term of paraphrasing? So paraphrasing means nothing but it is the re-expression of. Paraphrase means it is the re-expression of. It is nothing but the re-expression of something written or spoken. Something written or spoken words. Something written or spoken words. It is the re-expression of something written or spoken words spoken words which are easier to understand, to get. So this is mean by paraphrasing. So Leech has given very good example. So Leech has given this example, that is the nothing but he has given two conversation, that is the defects of the plan, the defects of the plan were obvious. The defects of the plan were obvious. This is one expression. Another expression is that the demerits of the scheme were evident. So see here, these are the some synonymous words. You know that the defects, demerits, plan, scheme, obvious, evident. These are the synonymous words. So here we get one formula. From this we get one formula. This formula is nothing but that is the X is synonymous, synonymous with Y. X is synonymous with Y. This is the formula. Then we can get a code. What is the code? This is the code. What is code? Code is that if x is true, y is true, and if x is true, y is true, and if x is false, y is also false. This is the code. So this code is we get. This is the one relation that is known as a paraphrasing or paraphrase. Second relation given by Leech is nothing but that is the entailment. That is the entailment. This is the relation, second relation, entailment. What is the entailment? It is the relation of meaning. inclusion. It is the relation. It is the relation of meaning. It is the relation of meaning inclusion. Inclusion. That is the one sentence or one utterance. One utterance. One utterance depends upon the other. Depends upon the other. One utterance depends upon the other. For example, Leech has given very good example. That is nothing but, so he has given kind of a relation. If x says x, this is the x. X. This is a rose. This is a rose. Entails. This is a rose. Entails. Y relation. This is a flower. This is a rose. Entails. This is a flower. So you know that. So here you know this is a rose and this is a flower. Or this is a, or we know that this is a dog, this is an animal. Entails animal. Or this is a Prachi. Entails this is a girl. This is Rahul. Entails this is a boy. So this relation is known as a entailment. So this is, so in which we can get a kind of the formula. What is this formula? We get a formula that is x entails y. X entails y. Then we have a code. What is the code? That code is nothing but, if x is true, y is also true. Y is also true. This is the kind of the relation between this relation. This is, that is the first one was paraphrasing, and second was that is the entailment. So this is kind of also a relation, very important. So third relation is presupposition. What is meant by the term presupposition? Supposition, presupposition. So this relation tells us that is the, it needs for something, it needs for something, it needs for something to serve, for something to serve as, to serve as a precondition. Something needs to serve as a precondition. For example, see here example. Leech has given very good example. Suppose x, for example, if we can say John's son is called William. John's son, if John's son is called William, John's son is called William, Johnson is called William, it means what? That is the Johnson is called William, that is the John has a son. John has a son. This is the precondition. Johnson is called William means John has a son. So here what is the formula? Here formula tells us that, formula tells us that is the x positively presupposes y. X positively presupposes y. X positively presupposes y. And code that is the value of x can be taken into granted, can be taken into granted. So this is the expression. that is known as a presupposition. Fourth relation is that is the nothing but fourth relation is that is the logical inconsistency. Logical inconsistency. Logical inconsistency. Yes, this is the yes. Logical inconsistency. Logical inconsistency means it is a kind of the semantic opposition. Logical inconsistency means it is a kind of semantic opposition. Kind of semantic opposition. This is known as semantic opposition. Logical inconsistency. Semantic opposition means it is not, that is the inconsistent statement. Suppose the earth goes, for example, this is the example. The earth goes round to the sun. The earth goes round to the sun. The earth goes round to the sun. This is the x. But y says the earth is stationary. The earth is stationary. So here stationary means not moving. But first utterance tells us that the earth is moving. The earth goes round to the sun. And second says that the earth is stationary. So means what is this? So here we know that from this we have some kind of the formula, and that is the formula. This is the formula, like this formula. What is that? Is x is inconsistent. X is inconsistent. X is inconsistent with y. X is inconsistent with y. Then we have code, that is the if x is true, if x is true, y is false. And if x is false, y is true. This is the relation of the inconsistent, that is we can say logical inconsistent. Then fifth relation is that is the tautology. What is the tautology? Tautology is nothing but meaningless repetition of the words. Said the mother in portable calm, so and so. But here we are going to learn Leech has given which kind of the example. That is the fifth one is that is the tautology. What kind of the tautology has given Leech? Fifth relation is the tautology. This relation is also very important regarding the exam, and also sometimes such questions are always asked for SETNET exams also, or MPhil and PhD entrance exams. So we should, or you must study this also. That is the tautology. Next relation is nothing but the tautology. So you will come to know how to study tautology. Okay, I hope you can see clearly. Sorry. Fifth relation is that is the tautology. Tautology also one kind of poetic device or a figure of speech. Tautology. What is the definition of tautology? So tautology means it is the meaningless repetition of the words. It is the repetition of meaningless words. It is the repetition of meaningless words, or Leech calls it as a semantic oddity. Leech means Geoffrey Leech. Leech calls it as a semantic oddity. Semantic oddity. Leech calls it as a semantic oddity also. For example, see here example. Leech's very famous example is that my grandmother is female. My grandmother is female. So here we know that we already know grandmother has a sex, already sex as a female. But Leech says that my grandmother is female. This is the famous example. So here you know that what is this formula? Only one sentence, that is X is tautology. Then we have a code. What kind of the code? That is the X is unchangeable. Unchangeable. This is the kind of the relation, that is nothing but tautology. And sixth one is that is the contradiction. Sometimes the question are always asked on this question, that is the contradiction. 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 What do you mean by the term contradiction? So here the contradiction means what contradiction? So here you will know that contradiction means when the meaning of when the meaning of when the meaning of one sentence contradict contradict to the other. It is a kind of contradiction. It is a kind of contradiction. When the meaning of the one sentence contradict to other, that is known as a contradiction. So Leech has given very famous examples, very apt examples, and these examples are as, that is everything I like, everything I like, everything I like and dislike. See here contradiction. It is also kind of the paradox also. Everything I like but I dislike. So everything I like I dislike. Or second one is that my brother had the toothache in his toe. This is also example. Everything I like I dislike. My brother had the toothache in his toe. This is not possible. So here we know that everything I like I dislike. This is the contradiction. Or my brother had the toothache. Where is the toothache? Not in his toe. So this is kind of the contradiction. So these are the relations which are given by Leech. Very important relation. Again, Leech wants to separate semantics from other disciplines of the knowledge, because he says that the meaning is the linguistic phenomenon, and so meaning should be studied within the language itself. And so he says that instead of asking the question, what does meaning or what is the meaning, we should ask the question, what it means to know the meaning of the language. And so, according to him, there are two ways in which we can identify semantically odd sentences, which are semantically odd sentences and which are not. And that is, for this quality, he says that semantic competence. According to him, what is meant by the semantic competence? He says that what is the semantic competence? He says that semantic competence means that reader must be able to find out which are the semantically odd sentences and which are not. So that is known as a semantic competence. He says that semantic competence we can identify due to the two reasons. One is the knowledge of the real world and the knowledge of the world of the language. For this he has given the two examples. First is that is the knowledge of the real world. According to him, what is the knowledge of the real world? He says that what is meant by the knowledge of the real world? He says very good example, the knowledge of the real world. And second one is, according to him, there are two things in which we can identify such semantically odd statement. That is the knowledge of the real world. Knowledge of the real world. Due to the knowledge of the real world, we can identify such kind of the sentences. For example, my uncle always sleeps standing on one two. This is expression. My uncle always sleeps standing on one two. And second, he has given the possibility that the knowledge of the real world, the knowledge of the world of the language, the knowledge of the world of language. So he has given one more example. That is nothing but, for example, my uncle always sleeps awake. See here, these are the two factors, two things from which we can identify the semantically odd sentences. One is the knowledge of the real world. If one possesses the knowledge of the real world, then he will understand this sentence that my uncle always sleeps standing on a one two. It is not possible for the person to sleep on standing on a one two. So knowledge of the real world. And second one, the knowledge of the language. If the person has the knowledge of the, that is the adequate knowledge of the language, then he will understand this is not correct sentence, that my uncle always sleeps and awake. These two things are contradictory, sleeps and awake. And so on this you will understand that this sentence is not correct. So this was least linguistic approach to the study of meaning. As far as I am concerned, I am Professor Gadekar, Chhatrapati Shivaji College, Satara. I have tried to simplify it. I am the great follower of Dr. Leech's books, Dr. Leech's philosophy, his ideas, and so I want to share these ideas with you. So if you like this video, you can subscribe, like, comment and share. Thank you.